and our contest. And now I want to talk about, so some of you were on the text when I sent out the notification that we were going to add Pilates to our program, which I'm very excited about. And of course, I took a poll on the time, and I've had more people respond to a text than I've ever had anyone respond. And half the people said they wanted 7:15, and half the people said they wanted 9:15. And I'm like, crap, why did I even ask? Because what am I going to do now? But we have decided we're going to actually alternate weeks between those two times so that people who really need the 7:15 before work have an option to come live. And then we have so many people in this program that have been used to and like the 9:15 time. They'll have options of that. And of course, we'll record them. So you can always take the recording, but we'll alternate the live times. And I'm super excited to introduce. So Trina and I go back. We met. She's a fitness studio owner. We opened our studios the same year, which means we're actually the same month. So we're both coming up on our 20-year anniversary this January of owning a fitness studio. We met probably, I don't know, 15 years ago or so in a Todd Durkin's mastermind group. And we, of course, hit it off immediately and have stayed friends ever since, even though she lives all the way out in Michigan. But I visited her out there. She visited me. We have a great friendship and kind of peer to peer. It's really fun to have a peer in the fitness industry where we can kind of bounce ideas off each other and learn from each other and be there when we're having difficult decisions to make. And I'll let Trina talk about her background in Pilates a little bit, but I'll just say she has been a fitness instructor her entire career. And I'm thrilled to have her be teaching Pilates. She's like best of the best. She's been using BFR herself and notices the difference when she uses them with Pilates versus when she doesn't. So we kind of brainstormed this great plan. So Trina, tell us a little more about your background in Pilates and kind of what you're excited about for this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And the fitness industry has been, in the past 20 years of my life, at least, the gym side of it's pretty male dominated. So being in a mastermind group 16 years ago is when I joined that mastermind group that I was in. I met Ashley probably 15 years ago. We were the only two women in the group. And for most of the time in the group, we were the only women. So the cool thing about that is I think that we see business ownership, health and wellness, maybe just through a different lens of we've always kind of been on the bandwagon of longevity and wellness, and a little less about how much weight can you throw around or can we host a strongman competition? Like we've always been, in alignment with that. I own a medically based health club. So to say that my business is all about health, wellness, longevity, I have a large health club inside a hospital. It's one of the only privately owned medically based health clubs in the country. And so I did a lot of speaking in the industry over the past 20 years about this kind of partnership in prevention, that I get people to come to the club to avoid acute care, to avoid injury, illness, or to recover from it. So I have a really unique brand. It's less about building a better body. It's more about building a better life. That appeals to a lot of people. So my background just quickly in fitness is I started teaching Pilates before it was cool. That's really what I want you to know. I started teaching in 1997. Now, if you go on Instagram, or maybe stay off of it these days, but if you go on Instagram, like every other person is teaching some kind of fitness class, a lot of Pilates instructors, and I welcome that. More people teaching wellness is great. I'm an OG Pilates instructor. I got certified in 1997. And for me personally, it's carried me through my life. I just turned 50 and I used Pilates through having two kids. So way back in the day, my kids are 20 and 22, but it got me through pregnancy, through the postpartum journey. And then in my own journey, it's got me through 2 knee surgeries. It's gotten me through back injuries, shoulder injuries, like life happens. And Pilates is kind of my one constant in fitness. Now, I love teaching boxing. I love spinning. I love teaching strength classes. There's all kinds of other kinds of fitness that I like, but Pilates is my most constant foundation. It is what I have done most consistently for 30 years myself. I have never missed a week of doing a Pilates workout, and I can tell, right? So I recover faster when I have aches and pains. I feel like I can lift stronger and heavier without having to use heavy weight because my core is strong. And that's what I want you to experience, the flexibility and the core strength benefits. So why is this such a perfect dovetail with BFR? Is that it's such an efficient workout. And the reason why I was drawn to doing the BFR bands with Ashley is one, because Ashley recommended them. I really didn't need to know more. And I know you all get that from knowing what an expert she is, but she doesn't get behind a lot of things. And she's definitely not a jump on the bandwagon, and she's not a fad girl. Right. So
Mm.
when Ashley recommends something, I was one of the first to say, if you recommend it, I trust you. I know you've looked into the science behind it, and I know it's not a shaker weight. And I'm gonna give it a go. Right. So I started using them. I feel like it's been a year and a half. I meant to grab them. They're over on the counter in my gym right behind me. I have them in a little basket with a little pump, and I personally use them 3 days a week minimum. And I have for a year and a half. The two reasons why I chose to use them, aside from Ashley's endorsement, like what did I want from it? Honestly, at the foundation of it, I was looking for a more efficient workout. I wanted to save time, period. And I thought if I could do a 20-minute strength training workout or 25 as opposed to 45, I'm in. I'm no longer of the age like my 20-year-old son who's a rugby player in college that I actually want 2 hours in the gym, right? That's no longer my best hobby. I'd rather go for a walk, take my dog. I'd rather do something else. I'm not looking for a 2 hour workout anymore, right? So when Ashley said that my workouts could be more efficient, that was my number one reason. The number two reason was that I'd been through 2 knee surgeries and I was looking to still be very strong and move less weight, right? So I was looking for less impact, less pressure on my joints. My low back had started to hurt and I'd never had back problems. So when I was about 48, my low back started to hurt. I started using the BFR bands. I don't even remember what it felt like to have back pain. My knees haven't hurt in nearly 2 years. And I just feel injury free. I feel fit and strong. And I believe that BFR is a huge part of that. But the other huge part of that truly is still my Pilates workouts. So I think it's going to be a great dovetail to bring them together. I can tell you quickly what to expect in one of my workouts, and then I'd be happy to take any questions. I know the workouts that you guys do are like 25 minutes. And I teach a Pilates class every single week at my club. I have for 20 years. The class I teach is 30 minutes. So I will easily make that a 25-minute workout. I'm an extremely efficient instructor. We move from exercise to exercise, pose to pose pretty quickly. That doesn't mean fast. It just means we move with a good flow. Pilates is for all levels. At my club, we have just as many students as we do seniors and working parents. I have people who are never an athlete, people who are overweight, people who are just getting started. One of my top Pilates participants is 70. Her name is Joan, and she just wants to beat more people in pickleball. Mike is 60, and Mike wants to play better golf. And then Emma is 25, and she's a stressed out nurse trying to take care of herself. And then everybody in between, right? I average about 20 people per week in my Pilates classes, and it's a range of ages and abilities. Everybody's there for a different purpose. We're using just a mat in my Pilates classes. If you follow Pilates or you've done it before, maybe you even want to raise your hand. Have you taken a Pilates class before? Just show of hands, anybody. So I see Linda and Sarah and
Anne Marie.
Anne Marie. Okay, Anne Marie, a few of you have taken Pilates before. I can tell you just from my perspective of being a lifelong Pilates instructor that it can get real fancy. You can get real fancy on the Cadillacs and on the big machines and cables and all that. But at the root of it, I love mat-based Pilates because there's no fluff. It's you and your body weight and a mat. And it's incredible what you can accomplish. Pilates was created back in World War I as a way to rehab soldiers who were bedridden. That's the roots of Pilates. Joseph Pilates created it in World War I as a way of rehabbing people who couldn't get out of bed. So all of this came from how to get people to fire up their core by taking their limbs away from their midsection. That's really the science behind it, is how can I help you take your limbs away from your midsection to work your core? And it's really called contrology, which is controlling your movement, right? Not using momentum to move, but using your body weight resistance and control to move. That's really what Pilates is all about. So over time, if you're liking the Pilates classes and we have the ability to add a few little bells and whistles, I told Ashley I'd love for people to have a small set of hand weights, maybe 2 or 3 pounds. I love using those. And then over time, I don't want to make you invest in anything too much, but there's like a $10 foam ball that you can get anywhere, Amazon, Walmart, anywhere that you shop,
Yeah.
that I'd love to add. But we'll start with
Yeah.
just body weight and on a mat. And what kind of questions do you guys have?
I just want to quickly say I'm excited to bring Pilates into our mix. So as you guys know, I've been curating this program for a while, and we have kind of our flow of the week, and I continue to add things. And we have our upper bodies, our full body strength day, and then our upper body and our lower body. And we do add core into those. But I'm really excited to have a Pilates focus class that really, like Trina says, is about like using your core to control all of your movements. It helps all your workouts. And to have that focus with BFR, we're putting it on Tuesday. So it's filling in a day where we don't have a live class. So it's going to kind of be perfect in the flow of our program. I'll make a couple tweaks in the homework order, but it's going to really be a perfect fit for that spot in our program. So I was excited to bring that in as I think a missing piece to our overall program. So yeah.
Wonderful.
I just wanted to make a comment. That's what I've done in the past, not a lot lately, but the mat Pilates, where it was really just an extension of a program that I had belonged to, probably 20 years ago, where they gave you other classes to assist with the regular training, that they had. So again, I really like it because you really focus on your body, and it's not anything complex with other machines and so forth. It's just, all about you and the mat, and, making yourself more, I'd say, stronger and more flexible.
Linda, what a great endorsement. I love to say in Pilates, you'll hear me say that you're making your body your machine, right?
And I love that you said spin too. I miss my spin, but I used
to
do that a lot.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Ash, I think it's wonderful that you're going to have a core-based class and that it does make all of your other movements better. And we're working shoulders to hips, front to back.
This is so, it's a comment. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I always thought Pilates was only Cadillac. You know what I mean? I mean, clueless. I guess I'm clueless, and I've kind of been in the fitness space for a really long time. So that's really exciting. Can you just give a couple examples just so we can visualize, like a couple examples of some exercises that would be using body weight resistance and the mat only?
Yeah, absolutely. There's about 20 foundational Pilates movements that we will hybrid over the course of a workout. So I'll take a lot of just traditional Pilates moves. I'll give you an example. I might change the tempo. I might add something onto it. My Pilates class, I'm going to call more of a Pilates hybrid, that it's based on traditional Pilates movements. And then over decades of teaching, I have found ways for people to enjoy it more, to get more out of it, to not get bored. So a very traditional move, Cheryl, might be something called a double leg stretch. So you're on the mat, on your back, face up. We call that supine, face up. You're in a tight little ball, and you're hugging your arms around your legs in a little ball. And then you're going to inhale and open your body up to extension. Now, some people aren't going to want to do full extension. Some people keep their knees bent to protect their low back. You're going to come all the way to extension. Your core is just fired up in extension. And then we sweep back around and pull ourselves back into a ball.
Very cool.
All right. And so I might take a move like that, and I might add a tempo to it. Or I might slow it down, or I might make us hold an isometric hold, or I might add a second movement to it over time to keep you interested. I've probably taught 2,000 Pilates classes. So lots up there in the repertoire. I'll always have a plan for us, but I'm very comfortable watching the screen, kind of checking in on how people are doing, and, hear feedback from you week to week. The Pilates classes can be challenging, more challenging than people think, but I'll offer lots of modifications. It's not a stretch class. It's not gentle yoga. Right. So I do want people to know that you're going to be working, but you're working in Ashley's classes, right? So we're working, but you're working at your level. You can always modify.
Very cool. And then in regards to the cuffs, the BFR cuffs,
Mhm.
so are you using both arms and legs? And then
Yeah.
secondly, are you using kind of the same amount of pressure that we're using in our strength classes as well?
I'm going to let Ashley answer that. I know I do, me personally. The only thing that I sometimes actually do is there are occasions if I'm going to do a lot of sideline work where we do series on our side. There are occasions I don't use the legs, the lower body bands. There are occasional classes that I do myself where they a little bit get in the way or I'm putting a lot of pressure on them. But I always use the upper body, and I'd say that for the majority of the time I use both. But I'd let Ashley determine if she would be okay with me not using both on occasion.
It's actually a perfect segue into our next topic. Not that we can't continue
I
to
think
ask
Alan
Trina
had a
more questions,
question,
but
and I
oh
do think
yeah,
Alan.
Alan. Yeah, did you have a question, Alan, before we move on to talking about the bands a little more?
I was just going to say I'm probably at the other end of this because I've never done Pilates. And I'm in Boulder, Colorado, where fitness is like religion. And Pilates has been something that I've kind of gone, oh, I just can't deal with that. And but I'm at a point, almost 79, and I really think that getting more core strength is going to be, it is important, and probably I could bump it up even from what we do in BFR. And so I checked out Pilates mat exercises, and it looked like it would be exactly the thing. It's not stretching like yoga, which I think is really good, but that wasn't quite what I was looking for. But
Yeah.
this is something that got me really interested. So, and
Great.
especially since Ashley is presenting it, which I'm kind of like you. If she says it's good to go,
Alan, I have
I'm
a woman
looking
in my
forward to
class.
it.
Her name is Phyllis. Thank you. Phyllis is in my class. She's 79. She is, and I'm not just saying this lightly, she's probably one of the best students I've had. And she's been in fitness and active and physically active her whole life,
Yeah,
and just needed to add some core strength.
right.
And she's really good at it and loves it. And I think she just has the biggest smile in our class every week. So I'm glad that you're looking forward to it. And listen, you don't have to feel like you're jumping on the bandwagon. I'm an OG instructor, right? So we've been doing this forever.
It's just a
That's
Boulder
right.
thing. What can I say?
I hear you.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
funny.
Ashley.
Yeah, thank you, Trina. Yeah, so super excited. So we're going to be starting her class next Tuesday, a week from today. We're starting at 9:15 the first week. The following week will be 7:15. I'll give reminders in the email, and I'll always have it in the dashboard and under the live section at the correct time. So if you get mixed up on weeks, you can just look in there. We'll try that for a couple months and see how that goes and see if people are really coming to both class times. And if they are, I think we'll try to continue with that, but we'll kind of see how it lays out. But I wanted to give both groups an opportunity since there was so much interest. So I was excited that Trina could accommodate that. So, because I know that's not always the easiest on an instructor. So thanks, Trina.